Every time a company posts an open role, it triggers a localized data avalanche. Hiring managers are instantly buried under thousands of applications, portfolios, and cover letters. Sifting through that volume manually requires a massive expenditure of human hours. To survive the sheer volume of applicants, recruiters often fall back on the first black box of hiring: gut feeling. They scan a 2-page resume for 6 seconds, look for familiar college names or previous employers, and make a snap judgment. But a static document offers almost zero predictive value regarding how a person actually solves problems under pressure. Relying on that subjective intuition severely damages an organization. When hiring managers lean on their own untested biases to fill seats, companies end up with mismatched skill sets, broken team dynamics, and high employee turnover. The wrong hire is an expensive mistake. The tech industry proposed a solution to this manual bottleneck: automated screening algorithms. Feed the resumes into a machine and let the software filter out the unqualified candidates instantly. This diagram shows the flaw in that approach. When you use standard AI for hiring, you trade one black box for another. The machine ingests applicant data, processes it in complete secrecy, and spits out a binary yes or no. It gives the hiring manager absolutely zero explanation for why a candidate was approved or rejected. A business cannot entrust its future workforce to an unauditable system. If an algorithm filters out top talent, the company needs to know exactly why. The solution requires a system built entirely on explainable AI. SwitchAsses replaces the opaque guessing game with structured intelligence. It operates as a clear box platform, showing its math at every step of the evaluation process. The platform begins by ingesting a candidate's messy, unstructured data. It pulls in their resume, cross-references it with live AI-powered simulations across 24 different industries, and normalizes those scattered scores into a single, cohesive profile. This diagram illustrates the system's core architecture. SwitchAsses takes that raw applicant data and reconstructs the candidate across 3 distinct pillars. The first pillar measures skills. Instead of scanning for self-reported keywords, the platform logs hard, verifiable capabilities tested through anti-cheating proctoring and real-world task simulations. The second pillar maps behavior. The system charts out the candidate's work style, evaluating how they communicate with peers and their specific approach to solving complex, ambiguous problems. The third pillar calculates role fit. The AI takes the traits identified in the first 2 steps and aligns them directly with the specific daily demands of the open position. By forcing applicant data into this 3-part framework, the system strips away the noise. What remains is a high-fidelity signal pointing directly to top talent. Looking at the hiring manager's dashboard, all of that complex processing results in a clear output. The interface presents a candidate profile alongside a hiring confidence score, in this case, a 94% match. But a high score means nothing if the manager can't verify it. The moment a user looks at that 94% and asks, why, the platform has to provide an answer. This diagram demonstrates the transparent reasoning layer inside SwitchAsses. With a single click, the score expands into a full decision tree, laying out the exact weighted factors the AI used to calculate the result. Following the behavioral branch, the interface draws a direct line from a candidate's specific communication signals straight to the soft skills required by the team. Panning over to the technical side, the mapping is equally explicit. The platform displays exactly which verified tests correspond to the required coding languages or project management tools, with zero hidden logic. Giving hiring managers the ability to audit the math completely neutralizes the threat of the black box. The AI stops acting as an invisible judge and becomes a highly verifiable co-pilot. When an organization moves away from the chaotic guesswork of scanning resumes and deploying opaque algorithms, the hiring process stabilizes. Decisions are backed by clean, verified data. By anchoring evaluations in objective simulations and anonymized skill metrics, the platform removes demographic identifiers from the initial screening phase. This shift from resume-based guessing to data-backed performance leads to a measurable drop in selection bias. This chart tracks the resulting operational shift. The sharply descending line shows a massive reduction in the time it takes to hire. As that drops, it intersects with a steadily climbing line that tracks long-term team retention and overall performance. Expanding this model globally requires navigating localized labor laws and currency fluctuations. SwitchAsses manages this by integrating automated compliance audits and contractor classification engines across 35 countries, allowing teams to hire internationally without manually auditing every local regulation. As the volume of global talent and the complexity of technical roles grow, businesses can no longer rely on manual screening alone. However, high-speed hiring is only sustainable when the systems behind it provide clear, auditable data at every step. Stop gambling your company's growth on unverified intuition and hidden algorithms. Make every hire count with SwitchAsses.